Hi guys, it's Miss Lacy and it's time for another check-in. We're on part 2 of a 3-part series talking about how behavior is communication and looking at what behavior is trying to tell us from the person who is having the behavior. They're letting us know that they have a need for something. And if we can figure out what part of the brain this behavior is coming from, it can help us have so much information on knowing how to handle them or how to meet the need of that person. And again, remember, we're talking about states of the brain that behavior comes from. And even though most of us are thinking from an adult perspective that we're talking about children, but any one of us can come in and out of these brain states because we all have needs. We all get stressed. We all get into situations that can cause us to go back and forth in these different states. Last time we talked about the brain stem. The brain stem is all about those survival kinds of behaviors: fight, flight, freeze. And the need that's conveyed with those behaviors is survival. Am I safe? And the approach we talked about going up with those behaviors is, what can I do to help this other person feel safe, whether it's a real threat or just a perceived threat. So today we're going to talk about the next state. So the brain stem's down here in the lower part of the brain, moving up in the brain. So we would see more progression behaviors is the limbic system. And the limbic system is that kind of middle part of the brain. It's not the highest part of the brain yet, but it is the next step up from the brainstem. And in the limbic system, we see more emotion. People are more verbal. The brainstem tends to be a little more physical, hiding or hitting or kicking or spitting. And the limbic system is a lot of times more verbal and more emotional. So we will hear things like, you're a poopy head. I hate you. I don't want you. I want my dad. Or I don't want you. I want my mom. You don't love me. I don't love you. It's not fair. You like her better. Sometimes children will convey to other kids when they are upset with them or some kind of conflict has happened. They'll do things like, you're not invited to my birthday party. And so that's not what they really mean, but they are trying to convey a message to the other person that something happened. I'm not quite sure how to deal with it or what to say to you, but I know if I tell you that, it's going to make an impact. The the limbic system is, like I said, that more emotional place. And a lot of times those phrases that are said to somebody else aren't what the real meaning is behind what they want to say to us. It's just what they know to use. But if we look at don't get caught up, don't get triggered about the words that they're saying. Look at the overall information. Behavior is communication. They're trying to let you know something. And when we see these behaviors from somebody else, they're letting us know that they need to know, am I loved? Meaning, are we good here? There's been some kind of incident that's happened between us, and I'm not quite sure where we stand with each other. So when I'm doing this, I'm kind of throwing out there, how are we? Are you and I good here? And a lot of times the thing that we need to do to meet the need of someone in that behavior, it just seems so contrary to what we feel like doing. So if somebody is a child or another person is showing to us the limbic behavior of being verbal and trying to make us feel guilty and throwing those kinds of phrases out, usually what we want to do is just put space between us, because it's hard for us to hear some of those words sometimes. But remember, that's not the real message that they're trying to get across to us. What we really need to do is do some sort of activity, invest some time, reconnect with that person. If it's our child, we might scoop them up and put them on our lap. We might rock them and read a story. If it's another adult, we might have to go to them and do something that kind of repairs that relationship a little bit. How great it would be if we could say, hey, I'm noticing that maybe you're wondering how we are here. Can we just sit and talk? And try to put it out there and again, repair that relationship, reconnect with that person, and meet that need of knowing, am I loved? Are we good? It feels hard to do, but that's what that behavior is telling us that person is needing at that time. We're living in these different times. We are having to be isolated from a lot of different things. Unlike before, things are starting to open up. We're starting to get out there. But our normal is going to be a new normal for some time. A lot of things are still being decided, and this is very stressful. So, if kids or other people are showing you these more verbal, emotional kinds of behaviors, think to yourself, they're wanting to know how we are, if we're good. They just need some time and some reconnection. So if you see that, if there's something you heard in this message today that you're wondering you'd like some more information, some support with it, reach out. Let your teacher, let your family consultant know. We've got staff here, we've got resources here, and we are able to see what we can do to help meet your needs. Give us a call, let us know. Until the next time, be sure to take care of yourself.